What's up, everybody? My name's Trey with Diji Dive Agency, a full-service digital marketing agency that builds small businesses, individuals, and corporations passive income, like real passive income, not a whole bunch of that fake Shopify revenue numbers you see on YouTube. We're talking about real passive income. Send your kid to college, buy the car that you want, invest for retirement, stuff that makes you feel good inside. And today we're just on the podcast, just going over what it looks like to run a legit business with some of your friends, because getting rich is fun, but helping your friends also get rich is a lot more fun. So in this video, we have Christian. If you don't know, he's in charge of Amazon FBA. We have Kane. Nice to see you for the first time, sir. We have Kane on the podcast. He's in charge of all the content creation when it comes to making TikToks, editing videos. Then we also have Percy in charge of sales, and also doing lead gen. Nice to see you. Nice to see that you're alive. Percy has a good story that we actually get to here in a little bit. And if you don't know, my name's Trey. Basically, the overview, trying to make sure that all this stuff works cohesively and beautifully together. So, Christian, if you don't mind, give us an update. What's it look like, Amazon FBA, on this brand new store that we had you start? We do run a couple different Amazon accounts, but we're kind of looking at one specifically. If you are brand new to Amazon, brand new to making money online, this is what it looks like starting an Amazon store completely from scratch if you're doing FBA. Because drop shipping, FBA, wholesale, they're all completely different. So give us an update on the store. What we looking like, my boy?
Yeah, man. So the store that we're all working on right now, there's not too much of an update from last week. Really what happened is last week we were able to take the products to the UPS store, get them mailed off. Even though UPS promised them to be at the Amazon location in 3 days, which they are, right now we're just waiting for Amazon to actually check all the products in. So what this is looking like, or why this is going on, is Amazon does receive a lot of packages with their FBA. They're having to check in, check the quality. When we do send these products, then they typically ask, hey, when should we expect the items? And then as well as what will this items look like? What does the box contain? And so we're just waiting for Amazon to actually take the box in and integrate the box into the warehouse so everything will be ready with the FBA. So even though Amazon has received the items are at the fulfillment center in Vegas. We're just waiting for Amazon to put the items in inventory and get ready to sell.
Cool. And then we also have, so all the listings are up, correct? So basically, as soon as Amazon actually gets the stuff on their shelves in their warehouse to be shipped out, all the listings will be live and they should be producing income. That is the goal anyway. But that is right, how I understand it.
Yeah, exactly. All the items will go live once they're in the rotation in the warehouse, and we'll be able to start selling out everything here very shortly in the next few days.
Super cool. Another thing is, if you go to the actual agency's YouTube channel, and you see any video with Christian's face on it, that breaks down every single step, video by video, what it looks like starting the Amazon FBA store. So the process that he's actually talking about, he's going to be making a YouTube video completely separate than the podcast, kind of going over this exactly. So how long should you actually expect your products to take when it comes to shipping them and going to Amazon? Because there is a little bit of delay. Like, sure, it says your products are actually delivered and they're at the warehouse, but Amazon still has to do their due diligence, making sure you sent in the right product, like nothing's broken when you send it in and things like that. So it actually takes longer than it says. But Christian has all types of videos on the channel specifically about that, if you do want more of a deep dive and kind of seeing what that looks like. And then Kane, first time on the podcast, my boy. How are you feeling?
Yeah, it's good. I'm happy to be back making shorts.
Hey, gang, hey, back to work, my guy. Back to work. So
got a lot
speaking
of
of
work to
shorts,
do.
how are shorts looking? I guess what's the toughest thing for you when it comes to doing shorts? Because shorts seem to be extremely tedious, like not necessarily hard. Like you don't have to do any like crazy like math equations or algorithm or anything like that, but it seems to be very tedious work. So how does that kind of look when you're doing shorts, especially for the content that's on the channel?
Well, if you're like anyone else on TikTok, like you see when you're scrolling through, you don't really realize how, like, it's just normal. You're just going through. When you start making them and then you edit them and you go back and watch them, like, you got to think about what you watch all day on those TikToks. And it's not like it's not as easy to think. You got to cut out a lot of the dead space. and link it up, but you also, people's hand gestures and stuff, what they're doing. There's a lot more to it than you think. You think it would be easy. That's when I started this. I was like, that's not bad. But
Yeah.
there's a lot of tedious stuff that goes to it. That's basically the hard part is just getting out. Like, if you want quality, like all these people that are making money and getting the biggest views have like high quality, but it takes time to get that quality. So it's just learning the software and um, making the best content you can. It takes more time, but the end result is much better than speeding through it and producing crap.
I know that's
Because those
one
don't
thing we
those
kind
don't
of
get
switched on.
views, and people don't like that, and that's not why we're in it.
Yeah, I know that's something we kind of switched because I had Kane doing my shorts and stuff like for my personal channel early on, where Kane and we were just like, hey, let's win by pure volume. So let's not put any captions, no emojis. Like, let's just cut everything up into 10 to 40-second shorts and just see how they do. And the crazy thing is, they actually did really well. Not to probably the extent they could have if we put a lot more time into it, but it was super interesting to see all these different platforms are really pushing short content, whether it be YouTube, I mean, obviously TikTok, but Instagram Reels, Facebook Reels. We're going to try those same short form content on LinkedIn to see if there's a market for that platform as well. So it's going to be really interesting to see how comparing the content that we were making, which was very little effort, but massive amounts of volume compared to, okay, we're going to take a lot more time, make this a lot more quality, but have less volume and see how that affects views. Because if we
I
notice that, we're not getting nearly the views that we were before, we can just go back and just mass produce them and put, not nearly as much work editing the videos and things like that. But which ones do you think will do better, I guess?
Well, that's the thing is, I mean, we were doing less editing and producing mass quantity. And now if we slow down and make it higher quality, I'm curious to see what the results will be as far as views and likes and follows. I
Yeah.
think we're going to see a spike if we actually make it quality, because the other stuff was effortless, and I think if we're getting likes on those, I think
That's a good
if we
point.
actually slow down a little bit, we're going to see a spike, and that's good.
I think it's going to be interesting too. So what softwares are you using to actually make the shorts? Because I think one reason we were doing such like mass quantity and not really a lot of edits is because was that a couple months ago? Like we couldn't even find a software that really worked to make shorts. Well, so what two softwares are you using now to make the shorts and everything?
That was the trial and error with all the softwares. We ended up finding Shotcut seemed to be the most user friendly,
Yeah.
in ways of getting things um, cut up and processed the fastest and the best quality. But there's also a snag, and you can't. It's not all in one. You have to do different softwares to do
Right.
different things. So you cut them up in Shotcut, and then you use CapCut to add the captions and emojis and all those other things.
Yeah. So it
So
is a
it was a process filtering through the crap and getting the good software. I think we finally found something that's working for us, and I think
yeah.
it's gonna make our lives a lot easier because those other
Yeah.
ones were a process.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting too, just because the two softwares, it's a little bit longer of a process, obviously, because there's not one software that we really found that does everything at one point in time. So you have to do basically half the work in one software, save it, download it, upload it to a different software where you can kind of finish it up. And I think that's really going to hurt us in terms of volume, but it's really going to be interesting to see do better quality shorts, do better quality TikToks, get the same amount of views. And that's one thing we're really going to test. We're going to have some videos coming out on the channel too, specifically testing that. So we tried posting shorts for 30 days on YouTube or 30 days on TikTok and just seeing how our views and how our followers change based on posting more content or what we would consider to be better content. So pretty excited for that. Excited to have Kane on the podcast on Sundays, just talking about shorts and what the case may be. And then we got, probably the longest running person besides myself. Good old Percy, my boy. So go ahead and tell your story because we got some updates going on over here. So what's going on, my boy? Happy to
Oh
see
man,
you're safe, my guy.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Just some of y'all may know, I bought a property down here in Florida, and it's got a main house, and then behind my house there's actually like a 1-bedroom studio that I've been building. It was originally like a garage, and it got converted into a 1-bedroom bath. But my contractor was out there, and he had some boxes. We were trying to do some cleaning up, and I guess like a cigarette went into one of the boxes. Yeah, there was a lot of boxes in there. And so I went to Home Depot, picked up some stuff, came back. I don't see anything. Everything looks pretty normal. And I go back into the house, and I was on the phone with you.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, the agency and everything. And all of a sudden I hear this knocking, like pretty hard knock. Like it wasn't, just a normal person knocking. I'm like, who the hell is knocking this hard at my door? Like it was like, dun, 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 dun. And I'm like, holy crap, are the cops? Am I going to get robbed? I don't know.
So much stuff.
But I opened, so I wish I had a peephole because I would look through the peephole, but I don't have one. So I opened the door, and this lady, she's like, "You have a fire?" I'm like, "Fire? What are you talking about?" So she's like, "Yeah, look in your backyard." So I like walk out, and I look, and there's just flames like going up. Like I'm talking about, there was probably like, I want to say 12 feet high. Like it was 12 feet high flames, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" Yeah. So I open my gate. I go in there and I'm seeing what's on fire, and there's a water hose literally right there. So I just like plug in my water hose, I run it, and I just put it out, right? And I had some turf laid out right there, right where the boxes were. So I think that's what really caused like the main fire was
the turf set on fire.
Is the turf caught on fire.
That rubber flammable?
Hell yeah, it is, dude. It looked like it. And what's crazy is it was literally, I want to say it was inches away from like the studio, and I've put like $30,000 or more into the studio, just because, like I said, it had to be completely built. It was so close that the heat made my window crack, so I had to replace the window. The house is like white, so there you can see some kind of like burnt stains a little bit on the studio, but I mean, luckily. It just didn't hit. It didn't get to it. You know what I mean? Like, if that lady wouldn't have knocked on my door,
it all would have been up in flames.
You would be sitting in a hotel right now.
Yeah, I mean, literally $30,000 would have just been down the drain, pretty much.
That's crazy.
You got insurance for that?
Yeah, I have insurance, but I don't know if when they're doing an investigation, I don't know if like an accident like that would get you reimbursed or something.
I mean, with the, I'm just really happy everything's safe now. Like the fact they don't have to go through that insurance litigation battle. I'm happy you're alive, man. That sounds like a horrible situation.
Dude, yeah. I mean, I think it was at the start of it getting really bad, and luckily it just didn't, Luckily that lady came and knocked. She was literally she wasn't even in my street. She saw it from like
she just
the
driving.
back of the neighborhood, like the back of the street. Wow. So dude, and what's crazy? My other neighbor saw it. He was just like, "Oh, I thought you were just like burning some trash." I'm like, "Bro,
that's a good point because people do that, and you don't know if it's like somebody's house is catching on fire, or they're just out there like having a fire pit.
Yeah, but when you got 12-foot flames, no one's having a freaking backyard freaking bonfire.
Yeah, that's definitely
crazy.
A bonfire. Yeah, so I mean, there's a huge tree right next to it too. It was a lot of things that just the timing was perfectly. I don't think it was meant for me to lose my $30,000 investment yet. I don't
think it's ever time for that. So
no, I got lucky, dude. I thank God for that lady. I don't even know her name, bro. She just said, "All right, well, glad we got to figure it out." I'm like, "All right, thank you."
Are there a lot of houses with artificial grass down there?
No, it's mainly because of low maintenance, so you don't have to cut.
That's one of the niches I was looking at for lead generation. I think that was going to be the next one I might try.
It's an expensive job, actually. It can cost you upwards of $10,000 because I mean, it ain't just like slapping on grass on or slapping on turf on land. You have to level it. You have to put the proper materials underneath.
Does it have all those black rubber pieces in it?
Yeah, but it's not like
a football field.
I know what
you're talking about. Like a football field, but it doesn't have the black little beads in it.
I was gonna say that would drive me nuts. You go like shit in your shoes all the time.
No, not like that. No,
okay.
Chris, they have a lot of that in Arizona.
What's up?
You have a lot of artificial grass in Arizona? Because
Ooh,
isn't
yeah, yeah,
Arizona
a
like you
lot.
can't even like wash your car, right? Or like you like water, you can't use a lot of it, right? How's that work?
There's no grass. There's not a lot of grass up there.
So we have some grass, but like most people have just artificial turf in their yards. The house I used to rent before my current apartment had a lot of artificial turf. And they just did that for ease of maintenance because they don't want to cut grass. And then the people who do have grass, when it's June, July, August, it's
Ain't nobody wants to do
110,
that.
120 degrees outside.
Scorched.
It turns brown, yeah.
Yeah, I think that is definitely going to be our next niche for lead gen.
And so you gotta we gotta go to irrigation out in Arizona. It sounds like we gotta get an irrigation
We
system.
have
They don't
limited water.
waste water like that. Like
Yeah,
they don't
limited
water
water.
plants.
No,
They
they waste
drink it.
plenty of water, but we got
Do they
limited.
really? Yeah, like I could have
We got
swore
We're
I
out
read
here
some
just
article or
blasted
something,
it.
man.
No, literally
Yeah, 'cause
blast.
Indiana
We
don't
got
care.
fountains that shoot water like 50, 75 feet in the air. I'm like, yo, what the point? We live in the desert. Why are we shooting water
That's
as
a
high
good
as
point.
skyscrapers?
That's insane. Never mind.
And like what's crazy is like you'll go on hikes, literally see this like fountain away in the distance, and there's no purpose. It's just Scottsdale likes to be Scottsdale.
Oh, you're out in Scottsdale?
I'm in Phoenix, but Scottsdale's like 20 minutes away.
I
Yeah.
had to say, living the high life.
Dude, Scottsdale blew up over COVID. As far as like their housing market.
Yeah, man. I was one of those people. I'll be honest.
What?
Who moved out to Arizona during the pandemic period, COVID. I moved
Wow.
out last year, but I love it out here. So gorgeous.
How far are you from
Nice.
Arizona State? The college.
Downtown campus, 2 blocks.
Oh, that's
ASU
lit.
No way.
Isn't
ASU.
are they
This
still the
ass
number one
farm
party
out
school in the
there.
nation?
Bro, I don't party with college kids. I don't know,
Hey,
man.
I might. I
Yeah,
go.
right.
I
2 blocks
would-
away.
I
Get the
would-
fuck
number
out.
one
That's not,
party school in
that's
the
not an
nation.
accident.
If you tell
2
me to go
blocks
and run
away.
behind some 18, 19, 21-year-old kid, I'm pissed. Don't tell me way behind some kid who can't pay taxes yet. Like, I feel
Going-
respectful, bro.
We're only going to grad
parties.
parties.
Bro, them ASU girls are something different, bro. That's all I know.
That is true. That is true. That is true, bro. I do enjoy living in Arizona. Like, your quality of dating does go up.
I bet it's just
Yeah, you
always
got a lot more
warm.
options
Yeah.
out there. Yeah.
It's like
You
Florida.
can actually see them. It's not like Indiana. Everybody got winter coats on. You can't even see what's going on over here.
Yeah, we got the
I watched the
some
Super Bowl
farmer
on a
chicks
pool
out
party.
here.
I watched the Super Bowl on a pool party, bro. I love it year round.
Dude, that's lit. It hailed today in Indiana. It's like 20 degrees today. It's just not Indiana weather is not fun, to be honest with you. So, boys, what
Yeah, we're in the wrong spot.
what
We got it.
what new information we find anywhere? Anything you're interested in? Anything you saw online? Anything you want to talk about? Anything? What you got?
Well, we were talking about it today that they're talking about shutting down TikTok. That's kind of what we're doing here.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think it was I think it's
Where are we
Nevada.
at with that?
Let's see.
Whatever happened with that trial?
What trial? Who's talking about?
There's a trial with the CEO and like all the wasn't like Congress and them. It was all over
So Montana, first U.S. state that bans TikTok on all personal devices of government employees. So they can't have it on, like kids can't have it, they can't have it, spouses can't have it. Basically,
They
you just
can't have it, or
use
it doesn't
TikTok.
work, like you said in Nevada.
I thought it didn't work when they went into it, but no, it's just for.
Was it like illegal?
Just for
Did they have it on their
government.
phone?
Yeah, it's because TikTok can basically look at everything your phone does.
But
I get that. I'm just saying, how do they stop people from looking at it?
so
Well, they're just not allowed to download it because
Yeah,
it's monitored by the state. Like if you're a government employee, they can monitor your phone. So if you download it on there, I assume it's like they could possibly just fire you on the spot if you download it on your phone.
and this isn't something that's super new or super rare either. There's companies that are banning it. I believe there's other countries that are already banning it for their government employees or their government products or government items. So that in itself is not entirely new. It's just what's new as a U.S. state doing it now, as opposed to Canada's already Canada doing it, or another state doing it. Like it's now happening, taking place in our own country, and it's not like that you can't use or access it. You just government officials can't have it on government devices.
Right.
There's some
That's what
devices, too,
makes
in
sense. So
Montana,
yeah,
so-
if they can monitor everything, and they don't want them looking into all their business stuff. But that's just, I just don't get how they can monitor it that close. I don't know. It's crazy. If
Are
it's
you
just
saying
an app,
TikTok or the actual
just a
like the
TikTok in
government?
general. No, I get how the government can, but I'm just saying, like, after everyone's already had it, like, I don't get how they could regulate that.
I mean, pretty easy.
I get it with the device, but if you have a non-government device, like, I don't know. If you just, you said Nevada, it doesn't even work.
Oh,
which
so
makes
it's
sense.
Montana. It's not Nevada.
Oh, it's Montana's the one that doesn't work.
But I assume it's just like sports betting for like the NFL. Like you seen those people just got suspended for like Detroit because they were sports betting. So like 3 or 4 players on Detroit got suspended for sports betting on college games, but they were at the Detroit facility and they could see them on Wi-Fi because they were on the Wi-Fi that connect them. And they were like, "Hey, we can see
No
that
way.
you're on betting apps." So they suspended them. Like they suspended them like 6 games. Like one dude got suspended indefinitely because you can't bet at all when you're a professional like athlete. Like
Even when
even
you're
on
not in the
other
league?
games, as long I guess maybe you can if you're not on the facility, but definitely doing it like at the facility, you can't like just suspend you on spot.
Well, why would those guys ever bet off their own devices? Why wouldn't they just bet through a family member or something?
They wouldn't. They didn't think they would get caught.
Yeah, no one thinks
They
that far
track
in
that
advance.
too?
It's kind of weird.
I bet. Yeah, the government don't want to lose money anyway. That's true.
And the NFL is like one of the most profitable like companies in the world, so I'm sure they figure out something. But I always saw I don't see why you can't bet. Like if you can only bet that your team's gonna win or something, like there should be a stipulation on it. Like you can't bet that your team's gonna lose and then you go like not even try or something. But as long as you bet that your team's winning, I don't see why there's a problem.
I was gonna say you should at least be able to bet that your team's gonna win.
And now you can't even bet on like college games because they were like,
Why? My team does so bad. I bet that they're gonna lose, and I usually win those bets right now.
okay. So the question is, who's your team? Either Houston, who's your team?
Oh man, I'm a soccer fan. Ever heard of Chelsea FC?
Oh yeah, I know.
Chelsea?
With like 1 goal in 7 games. I don't think that's changed anytime soon, unfortunately. It's pretty painful to watch my team's game.
That's okay. I'm a 76ers fan.
Sucks
We
now?
were riding the lottery picks for the last like 6 years. Okay, so I completely understand.
Chelsea
Just
sucks
now in a
now.
winning organization. Yeah,
Are they not any good? Dude, they
No,
used to be really good back in the day,
that was
like
a
10 years.
while ago. Yeah,
Before
10
this,
years.
while ago. So what do we think? What do we think the next social media platform is going to be? Have y'all looked into that at all?
No,
The
dude.
next what?
Social media platform, because it seems like more and more like TikTok.
It's gonna be
regulations are coming.
Elon Musk is gonna be the one they're doing in China where all the apps are in one.
I think
I think that's what he
apps-
did with Twitter, where they just filter Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. They just instead of having all these different ones, they're gonna mold it into one big one, and that's why I think that's
I
why
think so.
he's a genius. He needed a platform. And I think that's why he bought Twitter. Everyone thinks he's an idiot. I think he's an ulterior motive. Because
We were talking
he was
about
always
that
talking about that too. He was always been talking about that. I think that's.
I
what they're
think
doing.
if he puts the first step is going to be a payment processor, but he already made PayPal. So I assume he's just going to integrate PayPal into Twitter so that you can pay people directly like through Twitter and stuff, which that solves that issue. It already has all the reach it needs. I think it's going to be the payment processor, and then it's going to be how do they run ads on the platform? So how do you pay Twitter, and then what does paying Twitter actually get you? Is it just more people see your tweets, or like how would that work? But I assume that's what he's going to do with Twitter.
Well, he was making it where you had to get that blue check mark was legitimized. What makes you legit? Because he didn't want the ads, really.
It's just like
all the
$15
fake.
a month or something. Do any of y'all have the blue check mark? You got
Nah.
pay for that?
I never did that.
I'm
No.
not famous enough for that.
I don't know. It's $15 a month. Anybody can get it.
doesn't mean nothing anymore. It took away
It doesn't. It doesn't right now, but I think once you get all your stuff on there, and like, I think it's gonna be like almost like a LinkedIn. Like everything will be on there. Even in that sense, it would make more sense for people to purchase it at that point.
I think a really good next app or next like business that's going to come out is like, because AI is so good. Like, have you heard the AI song that like did Drake's voice and it's like trending #1 right now?
I have not heard that, but I think it's absolutely crazy. And I love the fact that the music industry did get together saying that they're not going to put AI generated music with other artists' voices. But I think it's absolutely crazy just the boom we've
How
been hearing
good it is.
with having your favorite artist's voice on any random song.
Yeah, so it's gonna
What's the
be it's gonna
song?
be
What's
that.
that song called?
I don't know.
I
If you
never
just
even
type
heard
in
that.
AI song Drake, it'll pop up. They made one with Bad Bunny. I think it just is another one. The same dude made it, like the same AI software. But that, and then I saw Gary Vee talk about it. It's gonna be figuring out what's real and what's not real. I think it's gonna be a huge business going forward with AI basically being able to copy people's voices. These like dark, they're kind of like dark web videos. I don't know what they're calling them.
It's
It's
gonna
have you seen
corrupt
those
a lot of
memes?
stuff.
I think so, because people are easily influenced. I mean, you saw like people were basically coming out with Trump, and it would like
They had
have Trump's
the
voice.
Biden videos with he's
Yeah,
talking about all that crazy stuff. They could do that
yeah,
with anybody.
and people have no idea if it's real or not. So I think a company probably working through like the blockchain that validifies if it's real or if it's AI generated is going to be probably the
I was gonna
next move.
say that's very exactly
Because
how
you
to
can't
determine what's
tell
real
it
and what's
apart.
not.
Like the AI song with Drake, like if you listen to it hard enough and if you really are a Drake fan, you can probably say, okay, he doesn't necessarily pronounce the word like that. Like, okay, I can see where it might be AI, but like it's gonna get to the point where you can't tell the difference. It's gonna sound exactly the same. So there's gotta be some way to tell you if it's a real song by that artist or if it's generated by some computer software or something.
They should put like a tracking, like a trail when there's AI doing it.
I feel like
Some
they're
sort
gonna
of
have
like
to.
some sort of like mark or like, otherwise, yeah, you could just plagiarize and like make whatever you want, take credit for it with everything. And that's how it's gonna be. Like everyone's gonna be able. You can take advantage of it now, but eventually there's gonna be regulations. They're gonna tighten up.
Which the real question is, guys, how do we take advantage of this and make money off this before they regulate this?
Exactly.
I'm glad you asked. I
Exactly.
already had thought of that. So there's a software that can take like your picture and it generates an AI, and then you can give it a script and it'll have the AI say the script. So basically, you can have an AI software make the script, an AI do the video and read your script, and you don't have to do anything. So use ChatGPT to make the script, plug the script into the AI. It has your face, it sounds like you, and then it makes a YouTube video. So that's how you can mass produce YouTube videos without ever recording a video.
And how have we not figured out how they
How do
can
we do
make
that now?
shorts? Make a video and make shorts out of it.
Well,
They
the problem
can.
with the shorts is because you have to go in and edit it like
Well, yeah, we did. We tried that,
with
didn't we?
CapCut.
We did
So you
try
can,
that,
yeah, it was
and
not, it
it
was not.
was cutting it up bad. Yeah,
Yeah, so
but
we tried using
we
an
were
AI
mass
software.
producing.
That's also true. We tried
Wait, so
using AI software to do the shorts. So
y'all
basically, it
did
would
that?
take, yeah, we tried it. It didn't work. It didn't work that well. It was pretty
They
new.
were really bad.
Yeah, so it would take your video, Percy, and then it would cut it up into shorts based on what it thought was good. And sometimes it would like cut you off in the middle of a thought or in the middle of a sentence, and like the short wouldn't make sense. But
Mhm.
it,
What's the thing? We did it with the top 10 things to do in like a country
yeah,
or something, and it wasn't going in segments of the 10. It was just
yeah,
like cutting up
it
random
would just
ass
cut it
stuff.
randomly. I don't know how the algorithm figured it out. Maybe when there was like a pause or something. So when there's no sound, it thought that you were done with your statement, so it would cut it there, but you weren't done with the thought. So we tried that for a little bit. It just didn't work. I'm sure someone's going to come out with a software that is very good and works. And when that happens, it's just going to make Kane's job so much easier when it comes to making actual shorts and stuff, which could be cool. So,
Were you guys using? Were you prompting it the right things? Because I heard a lot of these.
It
like,
wasn't a prompt.
No, it was just
You
an
just
option.
plugged it in and it automatically did it for you.
If we could prompt it, that probably would have been good. And who knows, in the near future, they might be able to do that. That would be dope.
If you could just tell it like what parts of the video you want it cut up, that would have saved so much time. But
you know, yeah, this is just the beginning. Like they're gonna correct it. I'm sure it will be able to. That's what's scary. Is it's a computer, but it's also learning by trial and error.
That's what's really interesting. That's why as soon as we figure out how exactly to make everything work cohesively with some AI, some us actually working, like it just makes the process a lot easier and a lot faster to where you're like, hey, if I can make $1 on my own, add on all these AI softwares, I should be able to make $5, $6, $7 now instead of the $1 I was doing by myself. So it should
we'll be extinct by then.
Hopefully not, because I'm trying to spend all this money I'm making. So hopefully
it's gonna be a real live Terminator coming through, man.
I mean, I could see that, but we're already talking about like, have you seen the robots now that are like have human faces and they like are trying to process emotions and things like that?
And like our citizens of Saudi Arabia.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like I don't feel like they're far away. I mean, we already are living in like close to the Jetsons. Besides like flying cars, like you have vacuum cleaners that you just turn on and they vacuum your whole house when you leave. Like there's all types of weird stuff that we have that we didn't think that we were going to have now. Besides flying cars, like that's the only thing we're kind of missing, to be honest with you.
That is what's crazy. If you look what's happened in the last 20 years and thinking about what could happen in the next 20 is bizarre.
So here's a good question. I saw this on Gary Vee. Do you think if you went back to any time frame with your smartphone, you could figure out how to like run the world?
I'd invest a hell of a lot of money in a lot of shit.
I feel like the first
Apple
is having maps of the world and actually knowing what's in the world and what's yet to explore, and being able to know that there's a lot of money in the Americas. So let me go there before Christopher Columbus and tap some of that gold.
See, to be honest, I don't even think I would go that far back. Like, I might just go back like a couple weeks or something. Like, as long as you have like a phone and you can print out like the stock market day to day, I mean, you could just pump and dump like random stocks and random cryptos and stuff like that.
Pumped and dumped cryptos galore back in the day. You could have easily done all the, I mean, hindsight's 2020. So going back there and actually having the same data, I thought we were talking about like a whole new timeline where the numbers won't be the same. You just have the knowledge.
I'm talking about like you go back 10 years
out here, yeah.
If you're not making money, like you're not trying.
I mean, yeah, as long as you have a smartphone, you can kind of do whatever. Especially back then,
they were like hot tub time machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Google would be named Trey. Like it'd be ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't know how they're branded, but it'd be lit. And Google has their own AI search engine too. They're copying Bing because Bing basically put ChatGPT in their search engine, and now Google has theirs. They said it failed on the first day that they launched it, though, or that they showed it. They asked it to do like simple math, and they got the equation wrong. So it looks like they still have a lot of work to do on it. But I think every single search engine now is going to be using some type of AI system.
Well, yeah, Snapchat's got some stupid little guy you can talk to. It's like what's their ulterior motive though? Like it's just a platform for them to learn and like filter out all the crap.
That's really all it is.
Just because there's some sad people out there just blasting away to this thing, and it's just like just like figuring out all the problems and fixing it. Yeah, we're the test dummies.
Social media companies are all about information. So the more information they can get from you, the more profitable that information is when they try to sell it to somebody. I mean, think if somebody's sitting there all day on that AI in Snapchat saying, hey, I love flowers. Like, these are my favorite flowers. Like, the next thing that's going to pop up is a flower ad on Snapchat. Like, they're going to use that information and sell it. And it basically makes our job so much easier. Like, if people are going to give up that information so easily, like, they're not like, hey, here's a chatbot, ask whatever you want, and then you just tell your whole life to it. Like these companies aren't even having to try anymore when it comes to getting your information because you're literally just giving it all to them.
What's what I mean? Then yeah, we have Face ID, thumbprint. Like
Super.
we were surrendered a long time ago.
That's why I think it's funny when they're like, our government watches us. And I was like, yo, you have your whole identity in your phone. Like, I don't think the government cares that much. Like, if I take your phone, I can know everything about you. Like, no one cares. So,
What's I mean? We're updating people's phones. I know they don't want to set up Face ID. I'm like, you're an idiot. You're
it's
already
like,
got. Like,
no
what do you
one
got to
reads that
hide
term
though?
and
That's what I
conditions
mean.
anyway.
Like, no one's really, yeah, no one's really looking into all this stuff. Like, if they want to find you, that anyone can find you.
That's what we need.
That's what I don't understand.
We need somebody on YouTube that just makes videos about like what's in the fine print when Apple's like, hey, you have to agree to this to use their newest update. Like somebody needs to come out with videos to be like, what's really in the fine print? Like, what did you actually agree to? Because people probably be selling away like
Yeah, I
their
was
first
say
kids and stuff.
there's probably 1 of a million people that
I
read
know.
that.
Because I know I don't. And I update my
Have
phone
you
every
ever read
time.
that? No one has
No.
ever read any of that shit. It's like a fucking mile long. You gotta swipe for fucking 10 minutes just to hit accept.
Makes me think of all those TikToks that end with, it's Trey. Where did you hear that from? Oh, it's Trey. Your inside secret to all the inside, all the fine print.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, yeah, dude, that's actually pretty genius. We could, yeah, just start picking these companies apart.
We can just oh shit. We could just have AI read it and give us the fine print.
I was gonna say,
like
yeah,
what's
I don't want.
actually in
I'm
it.
still not gonna read it.
Yeah, we'll have AI
find
do it
someone
for
else
us.
to read it.
Hopefully the AI isn't lying to us. Man, that's the only thing. If ChatGPT or any of these like AI bots just start giving the wrong answer, it's gonna be so much blasphemy that goes on. It's gonna be so much blasphemy. People are gonna be looking up the answers to all types of stuff. And if ChatGPT says it's right, like people just assume that's real. So there's no it could be really bad what happens. Especially if it comes out on more of like anybody can use it, because anybody can use it now, but it seems like a lot of people still don't know about it. So it's going to be interesting when literally everybody knows about it. I wonder what percentage of people don't use it just because they don't know if it's right or whatever the case may be.
It'd be interesting to see like when you're asking about history, like how's it gonna pull up? Like which perspective is it gonna pull up?
I assume that it'll pull it up based on your location. So if you're in the US and you pull up, what was slavery in the US, it's going to be completely different than if you pull it up if you're in Africa or something like that.
Right.
So
yeah.
I assume it's going to be completely location based, but I mean, they already have access to your location anyway. So I guess it doesn't really, not.
But there's different perspectives to how things happened. That's what I'm curious about, like how to pick which perspective to choose from. And that's gonna
that's gonna be very touchy, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And
I think these AI systems are just they have the potential to make so much money, because if you wanted to sway the opinion of what it brings up, I assume you just pay more. So like if Google, for instance, doesn't like something in their history and you ask a chatbot and they just pay the chatbot to say some different information, like not lie, but kind of change how they say the truth, then that's when I think it becomes really simpler, because it's just like, hey, if you have money, you can basically put your perception on people based on the chatbot or Google search or whatever the case may be, just because you have money to kind of sway people.
Elections, bro. The elections.
Have y'all seen China and Russia and everybody breaking off from the US dollar?
Oh yes, I have heard that. Quite a
How
few
do y'all feel about that?
I had some clients that were talking about that. But he was from Middle East, but he's saying all of their backup and reserves are in US dollars. So it makes no sense for them to torch our money, because they're gonna lose a lot themselves. They have trillions of dollars in reserves.
So apparently the contract for that ends in 2030. So the US dollar is good until 2030. Because that's when the contract ends. And then, at the end of the contract, that's when usually you have to renegotiate. Yeah. So
that's a different story. Yeah. That's war right there.
So this is being in talks now. Obviously we're secured until 2030, but now they're plotting and kind of making plans to ditch the dollar and switch into the yen.
Do you think even if everybody does switch away, which I don't think it would happen, but I guess it has the possibility to, do you think we end up like Venezuela?
I mean, it would be hard to get like Venezuela because we're so big. You can only, if you've noticed, communist countries and stuff like that, they're small.
right?
It's because they're
easier to manage.
easier to manage. A
We-
place like the United States, dude, there'd be states like, fucking rebelling and going out and fighting and going to wars and shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, we're not gonna take it laying down. No way.
Yeah,
But
no
imagine
shit.
a state like California, a state like California where their personal economy is massive. And then if when the economy just does take that massive shrink, maybe that's when someone else might try to run away. Like that might be two conspiracy theories, or too far down the rabbit hole. But I think that's another state that might try to rebel and break off is like California's, because they've already had the idea of breaking into two states or forming their own country. I know Texas has had those.
Texas, yeah. Why did we ever change that? Texas is dope. No.
But
Well,
regardless,
actually,
I don't
like
think we could be like Venezuela because we produce too much money as a country. So I don't think us being in Venezuela, sure, there'd be a collapse in our economy or a recession, but it would not be a Venezuela level.
I don't think
Actually,
it'll be
well,
that
I'm in-
level.
What's going on in Venezuela? I don't even know what the hell's going
Damn,
on.
man, get up on your
their
global
economy-
news,
Dude,
baby.
I know. I go to work and I come home. That's it. I don't know what the hell's going on outside there.
it's just a communist country. Like, they don't even have inflation so high over there. People,
We work with a guy from Venezuela. He says it's
But
corrupt, but other than
They
that,
have
all
another
leave.
exactly. They have another level of corruption where even though they do produce and have a lot of oil and gasoline, natural gases, look at Africa, for example. Africa is flush with natural resources. But because of the corruption in places like Africa and places like Venezuela, they're struggling to turn those natural resources into monetized profits. So that's why we can't, end up like Venezuela, is because, we have more checks and balances.
we have the resources to make something worthwhile. Yeah. What you're
I
saying?
think it'll all change here in a second because I don't think I feel like our states are too big as they are to still be like considered like the U.S. as a country.
You're saying we
our
should chop us
states-
up to smaller states?
I don't think we should, but I think it's gonna happen. I just think we're too large to kind of like police
We think
everything.
we'll be a million little states?
Well, I think we'll stay exactly the way we are now. I just think we might have the federal government, but I think the federal government is only going to deal with like policies or laws that are obviously state to state level, like interstate, like Texas to California and things like that. But I think the states are going to start really controlling themselves because it's really hard to push all the beliefs on California as it is to New York because completely different sides of the country. They think completely different. Their economies are completely different. I don't think we can stay this large.
Well, that's just the
forever.
American way, dude. Where's the melting pot?
Dude, I just don't think it's not sustainable in my opinion. It's just not. There
We
has
got
to be
crazies down in Texas shooting any bastard looks at them crazy. People in California are fucking doing God knows what. And the people on the East Coast in Boston
That's
smacking
why
and looking at it wrong.
Yeah,
I mean,
so I
yeah,
don't think
it's
it makes
great.
sense.
Like, yeah, you get to pick, but you get to pick which side you're on.
Well, yeah, you get to pick, but I think that's why the state level is going to be, I think, a lot more important than how we're running it now. I think each state is going to be a lot different here in the next like 10, 15 years. They're going to basically govern themselves and only look to the federal government like worst case scenario on things. Like, so who is actually voted at the state level, I think is going to make a lot more, it's going to be a lot more important compared to like who our president is. I think the president's just going to start being like a figurehead, if anything else, and the states are actually going to decide.
What do you
they
think is going
actually
on
wanna do.
right now? This guy's just a freaking puppet.
I don't know. I think he has some mental disorder. I
He's
think he
not
has Alzheimer's
sick.
or something.
I
don't think he's. I don't think he's
They
over there.
put someone in there they can control. I
He's
know,
also too old. I feel like we need a-
I'm a patriot. Like I'm
a
proud to be
patriot.
American. But
Yeah.
this guy representing us, like no wonder fucking Russia's doing this shit. Like if now is the time to fucking attack when no one's gonna fucking do anything is now. We got the weakest fucking asshole and talking gibberish and fucking mumbling around, walking around doing nothing. Like, yeah, like if we're gonna attack, let's do it now.
But
Like,
did
you
you
know,
really
like
think
if
I don't
Did you
think
really-
anybody really wants to start.
I don't know. I think. I mean, this is just my blood. Trump was outside the circle. He's a billionaire already. What does he have to gain from coming in and doing that?
I feel like just
I mean, everyone say he's got ulterior motives. Yeah, he talks out his ass. He's a fucking nut. But at the end of the day, like, everything,
You know,
I don't know.
he was a
There's a lot
businessman.
of shit there, bros. Yeah, he's business. Exactly. But he also said what he wanted, and there was a lot of allegations that came towards him, and all the riots and shit were fucked. And that's what really put a bad mark on his name. But besides all that shit, everything was fucking peach. Like they should be taking like if
Peach is
you
a
make
strong
money,
word.
if you make money in this country, you shouldn't be penalized for making your money and making your way. Whereas the
Yeah,
other way is just like everyone should be
socialism,
equal, and
baby.
like these guys make more money, so we'll just take more from them. Like that doesn't make any fucking
Y'all see
sense.
they talk about
I
changing
don't
the
make that
mortgage.
much money, but that's what I'm saying.
They changed the mortgage, so if you have a higher credit score, you pay more on your mortgage. Y'all see that?
Is that real? Is that real?
Yeah,
Hey, I looked into it. I don't think it goes into effect for a while, but if it is, that's blasphemy.
why are people penalized for hustling? That's why I
That's
don't.
I mean, that's how
You
I felt
break your
during COVID
ass
too.
and you pay more. It's
Like
it's just sick. I just said,
when everybody was getting unemployment checks like $1,000 a week, and I was like, well, why doesn't everybody just quit their job then? Like this just breeds us
what's
to
just that's
just
just
be
it, dude. Look
passive.
at the traffic. Look at the traffic during the week, man. It's like, does anyone fucking work anymore? Why is it so busy? Like, I can't get anywhere. It's like, where the fuck are these people going? Like
That's a good point.
I work weird days. I work all weekend and I have a couple of days off during the week. I'm like, God, usually I can get what I need to do. It's like, fuck, man, there's so much traffic. Like no one works anymore. They all work from home.
That's what I say.
Yeah.
Everybody was from home.
Meanwhile, I'm driving on the road and I'm asking, what the hell do all these people do for work while I'm out and I'm not working?
I ask that when I'm in the
Right.
gym because I'm off on Mondays and I'll go to the gym at like 10 a.m. and I'll be like, why is everybody here at 10 a.m.? Like, don't they have jobs? I'm like, oh, I'm here at 10 a.m. So
Yeah, exactly.
yeah, that's a good point. I think a lot of people did realize though that you can really just make YouTube videos and make TikTok videos and make 60, 70, $80,000 a year. And I think a lot of people are just over going to work doing something that they don't enjoy. They rather just stay home and make some TikToks about their cat and stuff. You know, one of the best platforms, if you look at it, is YouTube. Watching how YouTube grows and how it will look at other platforms that are winning and basically just copy what they're doing and applying it to YouTube, I think is super interesting. So, like when TikTok was going crazy, YouTube was like, okay, let's come out with YouTube Shorts. It is essentially the exact same thing, just on our platform. And then it was like OnlyFans is going crazy with their subscription model. And then YouTube added in their subscription model where you can pay, subscribe to somebody to see like their unlisted videos and things like that. It just seems
Well,
like
YouTube was original,
that is a
YouTube.
good point.
That's where you went to
It's
watch.
interesting to
YouTube's where
see.
you went to watch anything.
Like it's just interesting to see how they evolve. Like YouTube will see what's going on and saying, "Hey, we see that works over there. Let's go apply it to our platform." And where like
They got the
MySpace, for
best
instance.
guys over there. They have to, man.
I mean, I guess they
The
are owned
fact
by Google.
how
So that makes
old
sense.
they are, and how long they've been around, like, and that they're still competing. They just took the NFL this year.
Oh, on YouTube TV.
Yeah. Not DirecTV, Comcast, all this shit. Are you kidding me? Like that was huge. That's huge.
I wonder when
They're about to
Combo's gonna go ahead
shut
and give
down
them something.
cable. They're gonna shut down cable, bro.
The fact that people still have cable,
which is the fact. Yeah, I know that's bizarre. It's working in the cell phone industry and how much streaming and stuff you get. But
I don't remember the last time I watched like cable.
But that's huge. The NFL, they watch that everywhere, bro. They watch that all around the world.
That is a good point.
Like,
It's also interesting to see because Gary talks about this a lot. It's like companies aren't making the switch to social media still. Like there are still NFL teams that don't have like an official YouTube channel or official TikTok or official Instagram. It's like things that could be so easily implemented for companies to move over and do something like extremely profitable. Like, why do you think some of these companies just haven't moved over to social media?
It's a good question.
Man,
I should.
who's not on social media?
See, I don't know who's not on social media, but I saw a similar graph. It was talking about the number of social media fans that each MLS soccer team has. So you have some MLS teams, like even very new MLS teams, like David Beckham's Miami team. They have 1 million some followers. But then you go to other places where teams like Colorado, they've been around for decades. Colorado is one of those teams that's been around for the MLS since like the 90s. And they still have under 150,000 followers on their social media pages.
Well, I guess
And-
a better thing is it's not that Kane. It's not that they don't have social media. It's just they don't use it to its capabilities. I guess.
What was it with soccer's? We have a lot of sports in the U.S. Soccer is huge everywhere else. I feel like
Just in general. So not soccer specifically.
Yeah.
So just in
so. I
general.
could,
It's
I
like-
could, I was just, but
All right. Well,
I'm hungry.
as you see, another
Yeah.
episode of the podcast done on this beautiful Sunday, unless you're in Indiana and it hails for no apparent reason. But we appreciate you stopping by. Like I said, this is what the back end of building an actual company with your buddies looks like, helping everybody get rich, helping our clients get rich, helping us get rich, helping you, the viewers, with a little bit of entertainment. Like I said, on this Sunday. Really appreciate you for stopping by, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.
Peace.
later.